We're back.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the His and Hers podcast, your favorite. Y'all, I know y'all missed us. Hold on. We missed y'all too. It's been a while. It's been a while. I think technically this is our 51st episode. Yes, I don't know why we shut down the lights at the 50th episode, girl. Okay.
Life got crazy, man.
But yeah, we had so much going on. So we know that you guys missed us and it was very abrupt. So we want to start out this first episode back by answering a few of y'all's questions that y'all had for us. I did ask you guys on my Instagram, what are some questions that y'all have for the His and Hers podcast? Y'all can put us on the spot, no big deal. And we got a lot of them. So we're going to start out this episode with that and kind of update you guys on our lives, what's been going on, the happenings. Okay.
A lot.
As per usual, I'm talking a lot. Go ahead, David. Take the.
Nah, go ahead. Nah, I'll go. No,
My turn.
life's been crazy, man. A lot of changes, a lot of just reprioritizing everything that we have going on, and then. I mean, I even got a tattoo. Like, I just been rebelling, trying to make my dad mad. You know, just having a midlife crisis. Bro.
And then we go see his dad, and all of a sudden, his dad has a tattoo for the first time, and we're like, "What is happening?"
Yeah. So like my whole life, like my dad has been like so anti-tattoo,
straight up,
right? Like we could just be driving in a car, just dead silence. He'd be like, "Fuck tattoos." Okay.
It was really interesting when my brother came to his family cabin and my brother's like just like head to toe tattoos. It was interesting.
Yes, when they came to Papa's cabin. Made me sound like I'm some trust fund kid.
I can't help the facts, factual facts.
It's nice.
So are you ready for some questions?
Yeah. I know they got a lot of questions about
man.
Probably what we've been up to.
As they should.
But I think you've been telling them a lot in your videos.
I've been trying to keep them as updated as possible. But, you know, I went a little MIA as well. I needed to have some, like, mental health time, bitch. Because, like,
man.
Besides a whole mental breakdown, we've been through a few other things.
Like, I'm not even, like, a YouTuber or anything. But, like, man, it takes a lot out of you. Like, I could just see it, like, just watching you. Like, it definitely takes a lot out of you.
But more, you know how it is, like, you have to be in the mental space to be able to do this and like, you know, just have a good time with your audience and with your friends. And it's just like, I was not trying to talk to nobody.
So what questions do we have?
Let's see. Let's start out very simple. How have both of you been?
Thank you for asking.
It's very nice of you.
You know, up, a little bit of down, but overall, I would say pretty grateful.
Yes,
for where I am now. And I think right now, for me, I think I'm in a better mental space maybe than I've ever been.
Oh, same.
And it was a lot of work to get there, but I was able to do it. I've been able to kind of find something that I like to do in stand-up comedy that I began doing maybe like a year ago, coming up in June. So, you know, I've just been grinding on that, taking care of the kids, just being with the family, and I think it's made me happy. And
I would just like to say you've never sounded sexier. Thank you so much.
Calm down.
Well, you know, kind of like leading into that, the next question is, how has David's comedic career been going? And that has actually taken a wild jump, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because so I performed at Comedy Works back in like end of December, and I'd been doing it for like 6 months by that time. And so it went well. It went great. And then I just been doing open mics. And then today, actually, I got the email that I'm going to be performing at Comedy Works again next Tuesday. What a coincidence. So that it's been going. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of learning and a lot of meeting people and networking. And just it's a craft, and people.
A lot of praying.
It doesn't even matter like really how funny you are. Once you do stand up, it's like a whole different animal. And so it's going, and I'm just going with the flow and just not rushing the process and just letting things come to me as they do. So
yeah, David's been working really hard on this. It's been kind of like a team effort where he has been having to go all around town and go to whatever open mic is available, and we're just kind of going week to week. Like, you got to get out there, you got to meet people, you got to get your name out there, you know. So I'm very, very proud of you for the progress that you've made, and it's really You
a
know,
team effort,
it was
though.
crazy because one of your end of year goals for 2022 was performing at Comedy Works. And we got to December and I swear he was so disappointed. And like you could just see it all over his face. Like he just felt like he didn't accomplish what he wanted to. And literally right before the end of the year, he's gracing the Comedy Works stage. And it went so well.
Yeah, I was lucky enough.
It went so well.
Crushed it. And it's fun, man. It's a fun time. I would say.
I loved it.
Hopefully it goes as well the second time.
You know, you're definitely in your zone when you were on stage. And it's crazy because when I first got with David, he was performing, bitch. He would perform music with his friends. And David hated being on stage.
I hated it.
He hated it so much. And I loved it. I was like, yes, David! Like trying to take off my shirt in the front row and shit.
I just like making beats like in the background.
He never liked the stage. And so when he was like, babe, I think I want to like try out stand up. I was like, you do know that involves a stage, right? He did so fucking well.
I don't even know like what. It's just like one day I was like, you know what? I'll just try it. I don't even like. It wasn't something that I had been thinking about for a while or anything like that, or like some lifelong dream.
People always told you that though. Like people would always tell David, like you should be a comic. Like you need to do stand up.
But I just knew how hard stand up comedy was because I love stand up comedy, like watching it, and that was like one of the few things where I felt like I don't know if I can do that. Like anything else, like music, I'd be like, yeah, I can probably make music, or I could probably draw. I was okay at those things, and I was like, man, I don't know if I could do stand up comedy because I just knew how. It's not that simple. It's a skill. It's a skill you got to have, and I just decided to just try it one day, and then I worked on it, and you know I'm getting better with it, and like joke writing and stuff like that, being on stage, and it doesn't. I don't feel nervous like when I do stand up. Like I feel like you know what I feel like because I did construction for 15 years, I felt like my job in construction was just to make people laugh the whole day.
You ain't got to age us like that, bro.
I'm pretty old, man. I'm pretty old. So
yeah, but David was always like the class clown and like, you know, like at his construction site. And y'all, it was to the point where when I would go to like company events with David, I mean, everybody would be hacking up a lung laughing so hard when David would get there. And immediately, like, we would walk into the space and people would be like, you know, like I'm at a company event and here comes David. And immediately upon looking at him, like his friends would be like, oh, David. They knew that they were about to be entertained.
Yeah, I'll do impressions of people that I worked with. Like it was just, so I feel like I kind of got some experience. It was
even worse when his best friend was still with us, when his best friend was still alive. Yeah, his name is Aaron. And
Aaron was like a big brother to me because I'd known him my whole life.
Oh, man, you couldn't put those two together in a room without them running amok.
Yeah, we were. If you think I'm funny, he's like, he was easily like 10 times funnier than me.
And guess what? He was always telling you that you should be a comedian.
I told him he should have been a comedian. Like
he was, or him telling you that.
By far the funniest person I've ever met, and I'm not even saying that.
I genuinely think he's like with you, and I think he's probably like out in the crowd looking at you every time you perform. Like, yeah,
he.
You know, he was definitely one of your biggest fans.
Man, I'm doing it for him.
Well, you know, it's crazy that I feel like we complicate things as far as finding our purpose in life. Every single person on this earth is like, why am I here?
Yeah.
A lot of times the things that we're interested in as kids is something that is going to end up having something to do with what you choose to do or what your purpose is on the earth. We're perfect examples. I read all the time. I love stories, just the, you know, beginning, middle, end of it. I just love the protagonist, antagonist. I love the climax. I love all that. This is what I do for a living. Okay. I've always heard, and it segues into the next question that we got, which is what type of teenager was David and what type of teenager has Julian been like?
Oh, man.
And I've always heard that this has always been in David's blood. He has always been a comedian. Yeah. Like even in pictures that I see of you as a child, you can tell that you were just like a little shit. Like you just.
I was. And if you've met my kids, that would make sense because they're little shits. But yeah, as a teenager, I was more or less the same. I just got a beard now, pretty much.
But no, I don't think that's true.
I was I was very energetic, man. I played sports. I made music with my friends. I was always doing something. I just like being active, and I was always like a kind of like a class clown kind of guy. I wasn't like disruptive, but I was just a smart ass. I'm like smart ass at home. Got me in trouble a lot. Just almost get into fights because of my mouth. Just shit like that.
I think Julian is the calmer version of you.
I don't know.
Julian is extremely funny, but I just don't like. He's very, very funny, but
he reminds me a lot of me.
I think he hasn't found his voice yet. Like to demand a room. If you hear him being funny by chance, cool. But like he's not like an entertainer. Does that make sense?
No, he's not. He's very like low key.
But
like,
man, that boy is talented.
He makes music now.
He is so talented, and I'm not even just saying that. Okay,
he's way better than I ever was. That
it is something like he's damn near like Prodigy level. I'm not even kidding.
He's got an insane talent.
The ear that he has, crazy, and I'm so proud of him. But in a lot of ways, he's just like his dad. There's so many things where I'm like, Julian, you could tell me all day long that you're not about to do this, but I can tell what your next move is going to be because I've been with your dad for so long.
I would say he's more of a ladies' man than I was at that age.
Well, okay, he's not just a ladies' man. He is a romantic.
Yeah.
He's a romantic.
Yeah,
he's very in tune with his emotions. And he's going to be so mad at me for talking about him on here. But he's very much you as an Aquarius. He really is. Me and him are the same as far as like emotional shit. Me and Julian, but he deals with things like his dad for sure.
Yeah, he's got kind of like a smart ass.
But he's hilarious though. Like his wit is.
Yeah, no,
his wit is
very funny.
very fast and funny.
He'll find it. He'll get there. He's going to new school. Like he went to like this kind of weird school, like in elementary schools, and then COVID happened right when he got to middle school. So he's kind of like going to school finally with like just normal kids and in a normal situation. And so I think he's kind of finding his groove when it comes to being a teenager now. So I think he's in a good spot where he's going to have some sort of structure as far as when it comes to school and having friends and being able to hang out with them outside of school. So I'm excited for him for that. But he's way cooler than me when I was a teenager. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. And he doesn't even realize it.
Yeah.
So y'all don't tell him he's cool, okay? Let him find out on his own. Speaking of, the next question is David's thoughts on Nikki homeschooling the kids, as though I ain't going to talk to him about it, okay? So I had a video on my channel not too long ago about like our thinking about homeschooling the kids. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think, maybe like a year ago, if you would have asked me about homeschool, I would have been like, fuck no. But as time has gone on, I've kind of grown more open to it as far as homeschooling goes. I mean,
why?
The safety aspect is one of them. I mean, I feel like maybe it's just because of the news I've been getting fed, but I mean, you're talking about shootings, you're talking about, kids getting...
Maybe you got to say pew-pewings, okay? You have to say pew-pewings.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of this is bad. This is bad, and I don't want to be stressed out. And then not to mention, I feel like the education maybe isn't that great that you're going to be getting in a public school. I don't know. With the way that the world is going, I feel like the idea of being, you look at the housing market, you look at all everything's so expensive. Like, why would you want to just stay in one spot anyway? Like, you can go see the world, school your kids, let them have experiences, let them be well-rounded, let them be cultured, give them an education within the criteria that.
But what about socializing?
Yeah, I get that. That was my main argument against it too.
Yeah,
was like, what about the social aspect? And it was like, you put them in extracurricular activities. You could put them in sports. You can put them in music classes or whatever you want to put them in. And not only that, but that's going to help them find a community of people that have a something in common with them and a connection with them and a common interest. So I feel like you could find ways to even socialize even more efficiently and have a little bit more freedom as far as with your kids go. And you know what they're learning, you know what they need help on. You have a direct, hand in it. And I feel like, I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like pro homeschool against public school. Not that I get it. Public school is hard. Like the teachers have a hard job.
That's a whole other.
They're not getting paid enough. Like they slash funding for arts and for sports, and it's like, what are you sending your kids there to like for what?
Yeah,
really? I mean.
Everything's being, that was my issue with it, on top of the safety aspect, of course, because and it's not just the safety aspect of those outside of the school. Now it's like safety aspect of students being involved in these things, like a 6-year-old kid. You know what I mean? But also the fact that funding is affected.
Yeah.
And when it comes to just interests and things that are very useful in life, I didn't learn a whole lot of useful things in school. You know how much I had to teach myself outside of school that was like actually important?
Like the meme, like I've learned more from TikTok.
Straight up. I feel like I'm a more intelligent person because of the things that I've learned on our social media that I guarantee you none of us learned in our public school. I guarantee.
And then, when you look at the way technology is going, when you have things like AI that is only going to get better. AI, I mean, it can be...
Man, I had my whole order taken at Carl's Jr. yesterday.
Oh yeah,
like a robot took my order.
Remember when we went to that restaurant that what was it, like a sushi spot?
Yeah, and it had the robot waiter.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
it just
girl,
just wheeled over,
it's
dropped our shit off. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
And also, there's a lot more of, a lot more moms are considering this as well. So the groups are getting larger. They have the Facebook groups where you go on field trips together, and like the homeschool kids can come together and have outings and field trips and things like that where, you can take kids places in a safer way and still have them socialize, but get them into piano lessons or getting into music lessons or getting them into art classes without like either the instructor not having, the proper knowledge or getting paid enough or not having enough material or funding, or we're constantly, at Julian's school, the one that he went to prior, his elementary school, they had hardly any funding. So legitimately, it was every week that they were sending home newsletters. We need to have a crowd like sourcing, like funding for this A, B, and C to replace this,
like
whatever.
One of his teachers got his printer like out of a trash
dumpster.
Can, like, out of a dumpster. Yeah,
I'm not kidding, bro. Like for Christmas, we got him a printer.
I actually worked with a kid that was homeschooled, and he went to it was like up northern Colorado, right? Which is like very rural. That's just code for hick. But like, so he said that like, I was like, hey man, how'd you go to prom and shit? And he said, hey, we went to like him and like all the other homeschool kids in his neighborhood or his whatever district. I don't know what the fuck you call it, but they had a Civil War themed prom and shit. You're not gonna guess which side he dressed up as.
No, you're lying.
Swear to God. This is how into it he was. I think there's like he would listen to music at work, but do you know what he was listening to?
What?
Civil War battle music. You know the
what?
I don't know. Like it's a basketball.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what he like. He showed me his iPod. He's like, oh, yeah, look.
Not the iPod, babe. Not the.
He was into vintage technology and shit.
My
okay?
iPod Nano was the shit. I ain't even gonna lie.
I think I saw
classic cherry red.
Your iPod Nano was around here somewhere.
I still have it.
I was gonna say,
man,
they used to have a cool one.
And my little pixelated pictures on there. I had a little slideshow and everything.
You did? I used to have the cool one, man. I had the
I used to have the big one too.
Yeah. I found one.
The iPod.
And you could watch like movies on it and shit.
Yeah.
I had one of those. I was like, hell yeah. I remember watching I don't know, what was it called? Like The Descent or whatever on there. I was watching Click, Adam Sandler.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's like the screen is like this big. Come on, this is crazy.
Yeah, so crazy.
Yeah, like, is this what the aliens gave us?
You remember the portable DVD players? I thought that shit was so like just show stopping and crazy.
I thought that was crazy. I thought
TVs and cars.
My dad had that.
That was crazy. My uncle had that.
My dad used to drive a Denali, a white Denali, and this guy slammed it, put rims on it.
Of course.
And he had like a system in it, and he put like TVs in there, like the ones that come down. My dad's an electrician. Like he was an electrician, and like he's doing pretty well for himself, man. And so my friend, like he'd get in the car and he'd be like, "Hey, man, does your dad sell drugs?" I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why does he have to sell drugs?" And I was like, he doesn't sell drugs anymore. Like, what do you mean?
He's been retired for like 5 years, bro. No, I thought the same thing when my uncle had those. I thought that my uncle was a drug dealer. I don't know why.
He was doing something else.
Well, yeah.
It's like let's.
But
like,
I'm like a few years
like,
later,
actually,
he
he's
may
a
have went
doctor.
to the clink clink. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, he's a plastic surgeon.
Making a name for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is kind of jumping. Hold up now. Would we ever do a Denver meet and greet? Would you do a meet and greet with me? I've never done a meet and greet, even myself. I've never done this.
A meet and greet.
It's a little scary. Y'all not scary, but like crazy people are scary. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you're crazy.
Yes, please don't
Some
come.
of you probably are. Just going by the statistics. Like
You're going by Nikki's demographic.
Some of you gotta be crazy. A lot of you Latino, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
let's be real. I don't know, man. I never thought about it. Do that many people even want to meet us? Like, I don't even. Not me,
know.
maybe you.
I mean, comment down below, you guys. Let us know if we had a meet and greet, if you'll come, or if we'll just be embarrassed.
Hey, I got a friend that's security.
Not AJ. Not AJ. Okay, tip. Wait. The next one is, how do you make time for one another? That has been hard as of recent, because on my end, my mama decided to leave the country. You have words?
I didn't want to interrupt.
That was so not disruptive at all. It's very, very smooth.
Just go point across your face.
You look like Mila. Calm down. So my mom decided to just go ahead and leave the country. Just out of nowhere. I'm talking about maybe like a 30-day notice. And our mom, I mean, my mom was our...
My mom's dead, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, she is your mom too, she said.
Oh, yeah.
She calls you mijo. Don't hurt her feelings.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. But so my mom was pretty much like our babysitter and caregiver for the kids all the time. And like, they're her crazy grandkids. She knows how to, handle them. Mm-hmm. But and everybody else, like my mom works from home, very convenient. And everybody else has like, jobs and stuff like that, or lives kind of far. So it's been hella difficult. David and I haven't had a date night and oh my God.
When did she move there? In March?
Yeah, right after your birthday.
So maybe like since March?
Yeah, since March. So it's been a little hard, but she is going to be coming back into town because we have a little traveling to do. So to answer your question.
Like sometimes we'll stay up until like 1 o'clock in the morning, like hanging out once we put the kids up or something like that.
To answer your question, we take advantage of like when they're asleep.
Yeah.
We try to take advantage in the morning, but then Miss Mila Tracy decided to get up at 6:30.
Yeah, I was like, who the hell are you
every morning? Daddy coming down the stairs, and I'm like, oh my God, that's your daughter.
It makes me mad. She's like, I gotta go pee. And I'm like, all right, come down here. She's like, no, I need to go up here. I'm like,
yeah, and she's like, you up here now.
I for real get mad at her in the morning. I'm like, just mad that she's awake this early. I'm like,
but also now we have other things. Here I was talking about this on my Ask Nikki not too long ago. Mm-hmm. There's sometimes that David and I don't have a whole lot of time with each other right now, especially because it is grind time. And this is the sacrifice when you're trying to like, build your career and, whatever it is that you're working towards a lot of times. And I say that because David was like, hey, I want to do stand up. And we were like, all right, cool. And then we were like, okay, well, you got to go. Like, you got to go out there. And now, twice a week, at night, he'll help me put the babies down. He'll leave.
Yeah.
And, we just got to do that. Before, we didn't have any of that going on. And I got to, film and edit and, edit photos and get all of my things organized. And so right now, we're in our grind time. And we really do just hang out at night and watch movies and have coffee in the morning when we can.
And I think we're like taking advantage of the fact that we don't have like a reliable babysitter right now,
Mm.
and just being like, well, you know what? I might as well just go do these open mics then.
Right.
Like, we're not going to be able to have that time alone anyway.
That's
so
right. That
might
was
as well do
your
make
view
something
on
out of it.
Because I was kind of not
It's hard because
sad.
it's hard to give up time with you.
It is so hard.
Which, you know, I'd rather hang out with you than do the open mics.
No, but I would rather you do the open mic. Like, I was sad about you doing the open mics only because I really missed you.
Yeah.
But whenever you and I had open time, like before, when my mom would watch the kids, that just meant like us going to the movies and us going to dinner, and you and I.
We would go to like an open mic.
Or
Yeah, we would go together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't as like grind time, like conducive to making this happen as it needed to be. And sometimes God will do that to where you have absolutely no other choice, where he's just like, exactly what your thought process was. We're not going to be able to use this time together anyway. Let's just use that to grind and to make this happen. So that way in the future, we're preparing for a lot of leisurely time and spending time together. But your dream isn't going to happen until you get your butt out there. And my dream isn't going to happen until I get my butt out here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to go out there and do it. You can't do, I mean, I don't know. I've been thinking about, I was reading over some sketches I'd written. I got like, almost like.
I really love your sketches.
Oh, I got like almost like 30 sketches that I wrote like maybe a year ago that I just didn't do or film. And I was reading them and I was like, why didn't I film these? I was like,
such a shame, bro.
These are funny. And I was like, man, I don't know. But, you know, we're busy as it is. So
we make time for each other when we can.
My problem was I had to narrow down my focus onto something that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think I never, ever doubted you. Ever. But man, was it solidified the first time that I saw you on that stage. The energy and you know, it's crazy when you see someone live in their purpose for the first time, because living in your purpose means being scared. You got to be scared. And a lot of times you have no other choice. And it just happens just so where you have to, that's why everybody's like, take the risk, take the risk. If you're not taking the risk and life isn't scaring you, well, then you're not moving. And it was scary for David to have to go out there when he didn't even like stages. He didn't like it at first, you know what I mean? And he had to step outside of his comfort zone and do that. And then he could feel that feeling for the first time that it almost becomes addictive. Yeah. You know, where you're just like, and you finally find your
and the
shit.
open mics are fun too, because like sometimes you get like a bad crowd. And to me, like,
it was really good practice.
Yeah, like you just gotta power through it. I like when I go to open mics. And like, excuse me. I like when I go to open mics and like I was watching this one and like the crowd just not reacting. Like they're just silent. Like you don't really get boos, but you get like just silence. Right?
Yeah, it's just awkward.
When you say like,
get awk.
Yeah, when you say like the punchline or what you think is the punchline, like this one guy was going up and there's just silence after punchline after punchline. In the middle of it, he just flipped out. He was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. You guys don't know what the fuck's funny. This shit is funny as fuck. You guys don't know shit about comedy. I've been doing this shit for like 6 months. You guys don't know fucking shit. So anyway, I was at the dentist and I was like, you can't just cuss everybody out and then go back to telling jokes. Like,
so anyway,
nobody's gonna laugh now. You
moving on.
Just fucking cuss everybody out.
That's so funny.
But yeah, it's always fun. And then like, I don't know, like I've had some bad mics too, like bad sets where I was like,
like what, babe?
Like one time I went and it was a combination of like a couple things, but like the crowd was really bad. So I knew that going up. I was like, fuck them.
Nice.
Because they were like just bad with everybody, and like the bar was loud as shit, and the mic and then like the comics were just bombing, but like the comics were trying to be louder than the bar. Like they were trying to bomb louder than the bar. I was like, bar's doing you a favor. We should just be quiet. Just go up there and get your reps in, bro.
Actually got like really good shit going on over
like,
there.
This pretty much doesn't even exist. This is just like free play, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I already knew it was going up. But then I took an edible. And I went up late. And my plan was the edible was going to hit after I did my set, right? So, not only was the crowd terrible, but I was high as fuck. And then I go up. I do my first joke. I'm doing the setup for the first joke.
Okay.
And right when I'm in the middle of the setup, this guy in the front row blurts out the punchline before I even get to it. I don't know if it was on purpose. I don't know. He blurts it out, and I was just like mortified. I never told that joke ever again. Like, I still haven't told that joke. And then, not only does he blurt it out, but he just stands up and then just leaves. I was like, this is terrible.
I'm done here.
I did the rest of it.
That's so funny
like,
that he got up and walked out.
Yeah,
he for real just like did your punchline. He did your job for you and was like, I'm fucking out of here.
He was like, I'm the best comedian here.
Yeah.
And he just dipped out. I was like, man, he might be.
Here.
He might be the funniest guy here.
That's so funny. Well, it was funny because like when David came home and told
he wasn't
me,
even a comedian. That was the funny thing.
When you came home and told me,
yeah,
I was like, well, I mean, isn't that crazy that he was able to guess your punchline? You were like, no, it's fucking annoying. You know, I was like, damn, like don't, even if you could see where it's going, don't do that to comedians. They don't like it.
I didn't like blame him for it. I blamed me because I was like, it's just not a good joke. Like if it's, or I didn't tell it right, or I got to work on it.
Or maybe you were just super duper high.
That could have been. And, but it wasn't a good joke, I guess. And it was obvious. And he just was able to, because if, you know, big part of comedy is like the element of surprise. If you're like, if you have like if you predict,
yeah, that's true. It takes the fun out of it.
Punchline, you're like, meh. So I was like,
yeah,
maybe it's just not a good joke. And that's the one I opened with.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good sign. What other questions we got?
You mistimed your edible. So that's,
I did. I didn't go up. And it was like
mistiming your edible.
It was like 1 o'clock in the
terrible.
morning. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning by the time I got up, and it was like a Wednesday. I was pissed.
Oh yeah, I remember that night.
So I always remember, like, you know what? I powered through that. I only like talk shit to a couple of the audience members. That's not too bad, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I get through that, I think I'm all right. And I'm not like scared. People like you. Like people, once they find out, like I do stand up, like my family and stuff, they're like, aren't you worried about getting booed? I'm like, do you follow me on Twitter?
Straight up. Even I stopped paying attention to what you doing on Twitter. My God.
I'm like, getting bood's like one of my favorite things.
David is just like so messy on Twitter. One time I blocked him on Twitter and he got so mad at me.
I was pissed.
I just wanted to see if he would notice, and he did, and he was like, "I'm fucking." I was like,
"Oh, you got some fucking nerve."
I was like, "Well, you got some nerve. You be acting crazy out there."
So, shit ain't real.
Got me into Twitter beefs and shit. Now they got my name in it and shit, and I'm like. And everybody tweet me and Nikki like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, do I really got to come out my peacefulness, just minding my business?
And I always laugh too, like when I meet people from Twitter, they're like always like, you know, they want to talk about the Twitter shit, and I'm like, I don't take any of that shit personal. Like to me, it's just jokes. Like if people get mad, people get mad. I'm not doing anything nobody else does. I'm just saying my opinion. It's not my fault that I say it in a more funny way. You know. I don't at people. I don't harass people. They search their names. They see me for some reason. I don't know what it is about me. But they're just like, I just fucking hate what this guy said because it's pretty good. And it pisses me off.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
What other questions we got?
Sorry. We gotta, okay. What is the best couples trip that we've ever taken?
What do you think?
I'm waiting for you to give your answer.
I've been giving my answer to all these questions. It's like, what does David think? What is David doing?
Best couples trip, honestly, was for me was your Vegas birthday. I think it was last year, and we went out. And the only reason why I think that is because we just went out there and acted a fool. Okay, and we went out there and we just got smashed, and then we went to this comedy show, right? And I have to publicly apologize to this woman. If you ever come across this, I don't know your name, but very, very just blurry and in and out of consciousness. I remember bugging the shit out of you throughout the entire comedy show because I'm very friendly, or at least I think I'm being very friendly when I'm drunkums. and we had yes, and we had this couple buy us multiple tequila shots at the bar before. Do you remember that couple? The couple, babe. And the husband was looking at us crazy because we were taking tequila shots. And you had to tell him about tequila. And then he bought us a round of tequila, like the most expensive one.
Oh, before we went in.
Yeah. And then he bought us another round and another round.
Nice people.
Me, David, him, his wife. I mean, we were just smashed. And we were like, we got a show. So, yes, I was annoying. By the time I got there, my annoying meter was just like very, very high. And like, you know how the seats are
there.
Yeah, we had drinks there.
And also, too, Nikki was so drunk and loud. And I was mortified because we were like, I could see the comedians like right there. You know what I mean?
So
like
sorry.
direct eyesight. And I hadn't been doing stand-up comedy. Like so I was mortified that the comedian was gonna like, you know, start clowning Nikki. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get in a fight with a fucking comedian. And I was like, just mortified. Whereas if it happened now, I'd be like, I'm the funniest motherfucker in this. No, I'm just kidding. Like, but now I'm not afraid of it now. But like at that time, I was so afraid of it. I was so worried about it. Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
I was just having a good time. Shit, it's Vegas.
I know, but yeah, at that time I was like, oh my God.
And then was it this last time that we went to a comedy show and we met the couple that was like friends with us that like went to the dispensary with us? We had like a night with them and like, well, not a night with them. Oh my God. But like we went in an Uber.
There's no upside down pineapples here. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Chill out.
Loofahs hanging outside of our car.
I didn't even know loofah was a thing.
Yeah, different colored loofahs mean different things for old people. Evidently, I'll have.
I just knew about the pineapple.
I don't know how you know about that, but
because somebody got a tattoo of a pineapple, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I got this tattoo of a pineapple. I didn't know, man, like swingers." So people keep like, "Oh, so what's up?" Like,
so what's up? Yeah, y'all trying to meet up?
No,
we met like this other couple, and we had like just chilling with them, and they were pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Here's the thing. When you're from Denver, the altitude really be fucking with your shit. So when you go other places, you don't feel the alcohol for like the first 15 drinks. Like not at all. And it's
like, what is this water? And you just drink
and you're just like, what the fuck? Yeah. And man, I couldn't even help it. I'm so sorry. I apologize. And yeah, we will not be taking free shots from a couple. We had free shots from a couple at the bar. Yeah. We had made friends with another couple at the comedy. Like it was just, we're very friendly when we're drunk. See, it's not just me.
No, I am.
David was over there trying to offer this guy weed. He was like, we about to go in here. You want anything? And the guy was like, nah, bro, I'm good. And David was like, you sure? You sure? It's all me. It's all me. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, that was a fun. I like. We always end up meeting like the random people. Trip.
Yeah.
We always end up meeting random people.
Yeah.
I said that's fun.
I would say Turks and Caicos, but I was pregnant during that time. But it was the most beautiful trip, though.
Very relaxing.
It was the most beautiful waters that we had ever seen. I fell in the middle of the street trying to bike ride. You know what I'm saying? Very beautiful.
We spent a whole day in the hotel room watching baking shows.
Yeah.
We watched like a whole season.
Yeah. All at once.
We didn't do shit.
And then because like they have you go down to the restaurant there on the resort to get your food. And like you have to dress up or whatever and go down to the restaurant. And I didn't feel like it. I was sick. And like we were just tired. It was like maybe our third or fourth day there.
Yeah, it's like towards the end.
Yeah. And we were like, oh my God. And I was like, babe, just go see if they'll give us our food to go. And he was like, they're not going to do it to go. Girl, we go down there. And thank God for some reason they had changed it to like almost like a buffet style. And we took all that food up to our room. We went down there like just looking crazy. And we filled up our plates. Peace out.
Get dressed. Nikki fell off a bike. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then David didn't even know. He just kept going. My ass popped up so fast.
Just scrapes on her. Did you fucking fall?
And like he was kind of against bike riding.
Yeah.
Because I was pregnant.
I was pissed.
And I wanted to go like jet skiing, and I had all of these plans, and I was only 3 months pregnant. But when we had the plans to go to our honeymoon, I wasn't pregnant, so I had all these plans that I couldn't do. And I was like, "You can at least give me bike riding, babe. I'm only 3 months." And he
I know how to ride a bike.
Push back. Man, them things were built for like 6'17" people. Like they were built for giants.
I was like, you and Joe Biden, the only two people I know that can forget how to ride a bike.
My feet didn't touch the floor. And the cars drive on the opposite side of the street, okay? So, like, when we were...
She's like, what are we, in London town?
I was like, I'm supposed to go diagonal.
I was like,
how does this work?
I think it's a UK territory, idiot.
So we get to our spot, and yeah, I'm all like cut up on my knees and shit. And David was like, see? I was like, shh, it's okay. Don't freak out.
Okay.
And then the whole rest of the way back, he had to ride behind me. He was like, get your little ass in front of me.
Get on my spokes. How to ride it like a low rider bike. Like,
Had to give me a gonky ride.
I got my hind on the back, fool. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah. So that I think, but to me though, I think that the best couples trip I've taken with you was that trip to Vegas for your birthday. And also while we were there, it was hilarious. There was also, do you remember the Uber Eats driver? He was like being all flirty with me on the Uber Eats app. And I had to send David down there to go get our food. And that guy got so pissed. And I didn't want to be mean to him because he did have our food.
He was like, I don't even want to fuck you like as much, but
But he got so pissy with me in the messages when David went down there to go and get the food. And I was like, oh my God. So it was just a really good time. It was just, we got into some shit. We ate some good food. We went to Tacos Al Gordo.
Yeah.
Like we just,
bomb.
yeah, it was a good time. What's your favorite?
Ooh.
Oh,
Miami.
really?
I had so much
To
fun
this-
in Miami
oh.
with you. Yeah.
We don't want to say all the things that we got into in Miami.
Ooh, no.
We don't.
No, maybe one day I will. Depends. We'll see how comfortable I get.
We were running amok.
Might have to
Just give you an edible.
get
You'll
a couple
be fine.
drinks in me.
Yeah. So
I do have a funny story about it. I don't even. Once I say it, there's like no going back. It was like, oh.
Miami was fun.
Oh, I loved the food is great in Miami.
We literally didn't get up until 2:00 in the afternoon every day.
Yeah, we were like, cause going to the East Coast sucks though, but like,
True.
Because of the time zone. But man, yeah, we were like, sleep until like 1:00 in the afternoon, and go to bed at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Fun.
The weather is great. I don't mind hot weather. Do you mind like humid weather? I don't mind humid weather.
No, I don't mind humid weather.
I love it.
I was born in it.
I love it. Like I'm gonna tell you this: 85 degrees, or no, 90 degrees, 95 degrees in like Miami, with the humidity at sea level, is not even as hot as say 85, 80 degrees here in Denver at altitude.
Yeah, it's kind of science.
Because like the sun just feels like it's sitting on my shoulders, bro.
Yeah.
Like 80 degrees here doesn't feel as
dry.
hot as 90 degrees in Miami. Like I'm gonna say that.
Because it's so dry. It's literally a desert here.
Yeah.
It's a desert here.
Yeah.
Did y'all know that?
I love it. The food's great.
Yeah.
I love the ocean.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I think that one's a close second. The only reason why I have beef with that trip is because of the bitch that tried to take you by the hand. It just really put a bad taste in my mouth. And then the
grip.
Uber driver that...
I thought it was a dude grabbing me.
Well, and then the Uber driver that waited for you to go inside to go change your shorts because we couldn't go into the club because you weren't dressed right. And the Uber driver, for real, tried to convince me to leave David there and, like, go with him. It was very weird.
Okay, Uber driver.
Miami's a crazy place. Miami's fucking crazy. Or the liquor store lady that you got mad at for hitting on me.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
I don't know how to feel about that.
She straight up looked at you. She was like, "You're her man." Oh, lucky you. Don't let her go or some shit like that. And David was like, all right.
Are you trying to fight? Like, what are you trying to...
We'll throw hands. I had to be like, come on, David.
I got to draw lines.
Miami was interesting.
It's so funny when we do like any sort of like vacations because we don't. It's just random and chaos and like I don't know like we're not there like we don't have like no travel foot like we don't have like no drone shots and shit. It's just there's nothing like elegant about it.
No, it's like bouncing on the tour bus or some shit.
Yeah, there's nothing like it's never like
we don't have elegant trips or like opulent trips. They're like, vlog it. I'm like, this is very ratchet.
You don't want to see this.
Do you remember the place that we stayed in Miami was literally like not a fucking brothel, but like a. We walked in there. It had like all the different colored lights, and ladies of the night were there. There was red walls and fur carpets and colored like red lights in the hallways.
Yeah, it wasn't like a family hotel.
It's like zebra print everywhere, and
I don't like. It was like almost like a big house.
Yes, because
and like our hotel room was like in like
right
the
in the
living
front.
room.
Yeah, right in the front. It was definitely just the sounds that were being heard when we finally got back to the hotel, because like David said, we wouldn't get back till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it was very active.
We're like a block away from.
It's very active.
From the beach. So
yeah,
that was cool.
Well, I'm about to have a girls' trip to Chicago with my best friends. And this one had a boys' trip in Miami that he had a lot of fun seeing Chi-Chis and stuff on the street. So,
well, I wouldn't say fun. More like indecent exposure.
Oh, see, you're so mad.
I was like, later, there are kids.
Well, that's my favorite. So Vegas for me, Miami for you.
Yeah. Yeah. The food is great.
Yeah, the food is really good.
I think I judge a place based off of its food. Because like here in Denver, we get like, we don't got like great food here.
No, we don't.
So anytime I go somewhere else, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to enjoy the food.
Man, yeah, Miami.
Food and weather, those are my two things.
That's why I was so mad when that host started fighting with me about you. And we were on our way to that restaurant that we had reservations at for our anniversary. And I was so mad that I couldn't even enjoy the food, bitch. I was so mad because, like, when you get that mad, you know, that mad where you literally start tasting pennies in your mouth. You're so mad because you just want to snatch a hoe. That's how it was. And it took me a very long time to settle down. And when I'm mad like that, I can't eat. And so I was even pissed at her for ruining my appetite, because I was very much looking forward to that restaurant and very much looking forward to that food, and that bitch should have gotten her ass whooped for so many different reasons.
I felt bad because like you weren't eating and I was like enjoying the shit out of my food. I was like, this is so good. Like, you gotta try this. You're like, are you fucking serious?
And like they had us out on the patio, bitch. I was like this. I was just like, let this bitch pass by. I will hop
she's
over
like, is that her?
Shit.
Is that her?
So fucking mad. I was like,
I knew we should have got sat inside. Fuck.
I was so mad, bitch.
Want to do one more?
One more. Okay. Why did the podcast end abruptly, and why is it coming back now?
Money. I'm just kidding.
Merch.
What did you say?
Merch.
Merch? We're trying to sell merch. Okay. What the fuck else would we do this?
So it ended abruptly because we couldn't get our shit together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll maybe delve into like more reasons why, but yeah, it was one of those things where unfortunately we had a lot of other things going on that we just really couldn't dedicate our time to, really. And instead of being like making false promises like before, it's just like better to be silent, I felt like. And in due time, I always knew like we would come back to it. It was just a matter of when we were ready to not only do it well, but also do it consistently and be dependable. Because I feel like you guys have been so great in supporting us, and
very much.
And you guys, we owe that to you guys. And then also just the amount of questions that we would get about the podcast was like, wow, people really miss it. Like I wasn't sure. Like I didn't think anybody was going to like miss it.
Same. I was actually kind of shocked by the response and how many times I would get questions about it. And it would break my heart every time. And, there was, like David said, there was a lot going on. And honestly, we were not going to be the best hosts to you guys. Otherwise, we had to take this moment back because we just really didn't want our brand and what we stood for to just be unreliable. And we're coming back now because it is the perfect time, and we finally figured out our schedule and know exactly what we expect this podcast to be for both us and you guys. Yeah, we're very happy to be back. Are you happy to be back?
I am.
I feel like I really missed it.
I think we got a clear vision of what we want it to be.
And also, this was something that we spent time together doing, and we missed it. And so it's productive, but also a way that we can spend time together too. So thank you guys so much for
Yeah,
being
thank
here
you.
for our first episode back from our sabbatical. Thank y'all for being ride or die, share our shit, see us all over Instagram and Twitter. And if you guys have any ideas or any questions or anything that you guys want us to touch on our next episode, let us know. We have some really exciting things coming for you guys. But let us know down in the comments. And of course, you can listen to this episode anywhere that you enjoy listening to podcasts. But we are back up and running. We're back.
Yeah.
His and Hers Pod. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
It's been a while. We
Yeah.
haven't had much to high five about. Just
So
kidding.
you could sign off.
Yeah, shit, I don't even remember our socials and shit.
HISxHERS Pod.
HISxHERS Pod. Follow us on whatever. Twitter, Instagram.
I think I just said that.
I gotta log back into that shit. I don't even.
Okay, great.
They probably kicked us out. Like, the account's not been active.
Well, we will have new episodes for you guys every single week. So make sure you guys meet us back here next week for a new episode on time. Okay, we're so happy to be back. We love y'all very much. And we'll see you guys in our next video. Peace.